here at our first episode of the
Relentless
podcast. I have with me today Dennis Yu and Parker Nathans. So thank you guys for coming on. Today's episode is going to be about small businesses just starting off, what they need to know to be able to come into the next couple years and be ahead of the game. And I believe, Dennis, you have a lot of things, a lot of nuggets you'll be able to take away, add to these young contractors and help them out. So Dennis, if you were to tell me three things that are most important to a young contractor just starting out in business with marketing, what would they be?
You'd be surprised, because I'm a search engine engineer, and you'd expect all these technical tricks and secrets and whatnot, but it's really this simple. Do good work. If you do good work as a contractor, that results in reviews, in word of mouth, and just signals that Google and Facebook and other networks are going to pick up. If that's the case, and you do good work, then you can do certain things to throw fuel on the fire, like collect more reviews, link together your social media and your website and your GMB and your Twitter and all that in the right way, and then run ads. And in particular, I've spent $1 billion on Facebook ads and Google ads and whatever for companies that have thousands of locations. But if you're new and you have one location, it's just you, or maybe it's you and a couple of people, you have one crew, local service ads is where it's at. Google came out with a few years ago. They came out with that, and they have really, I don't want to say gone all in, but they have really pushed LSA, local service ads, as the extension of having a good Google business profile, which used to be called, GMB, and that goes back to doing good work. So if you do good work, all that organic stuff and proof and people talking about you and good reviews and people posting about your stuff like on Instagram or whatever like you're doing, those are all signals that these networks are picking up on, and then you run ads to amplify that. So it always starts with the foundation. So when I see young contractors like, was it Chris Powers you were just talking to, or he's in Florida and does HVAC, he just started out, but he's been doing good work, collecting more reviews. We structured all the data in the right way. We have a guide we give away on how to do it. We're not even selling it, right? Just like, here it is, here's the standard, right? Then we run ads against it, and this guy's getting a few phone calls a week now, and it's increasing. Yeah. It's literally that simple. It's not a secret. It doesn't require crazy technical skills. Maybe just like for in the very beginning to get things set up. It takes a little, because you have to, Google Tag Manager and some technical things, CRM integration stuff, the stuff we talked about before.
Yes.
Right. But once that's in place, once that foundation for analytics to see what's going on is in place, it's very straightforward. And most agencies don't even understand how to set up that kind of tracking. They don't understand how to optimize. They don't understand what the necessary ingredients are to win Google, so they make it this big abracadabra behind the black box kind of thing.
Got it. So going back to that, so doing good work, getting the reviews for doing that good work, and then Google local services, getting that set up, making sure that obviously, even before that, make sure your business is registered, make sure your business is insured, make sure you have some kind of templating in place for your jobs. This way you can kind of do it over and over again and be able to produce a good job every single time, or at least for the most part. And then once you get to a next level, Google my name, tell me a little bit more about that, and then also the $1 a day program they have.
Okay, so once you have the fundamentals in place, and let's just say you are at maybe $50,000, $100,000 a month, and you've got 50 plus reviews, 4.5 stars or higher, things are working well, you have a social media presence, at least you've created a Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Now you can start to go a little bit deeper and amplify the signal that you already have. So let's say that you have a plumbing company and you do a lot of emergency plumbing, and you also partner with restoration companies for flood damage or whatnot, and you're well known in the city, and your dad was a plumber too, or you have these other sorts of stories that you can tell, then you're going to, number one, enhance your website with location service pages. So most people just have a website and it's a brochure because they don't really know any better. And I guess it looks okay, and they argue over the fonts and colors and nonsense like that. But proper location service pages means that in your city, you're going to have a web page for every suburb within there. Not going crazy and having like 50 or 100, but maybe like 10 or 20. So if you live in Los Angeles, then maybe you have Santa Monica and Manhattan Beach and Torrance and Rancho Palos Verdes and Venice Beach or something, the other little neighborhoods within the area, right? Not just like all of Philadelphia, right? Location service pages. Because you have enough jobs that you've done in these different little cities that you can talk about what's going on in that one neighborhood. And that sushi restaurant that we ate at that you never thought was a sushi place we just had lunch at, it was amazing. And showing that you do the thing that you say that you do. So if if you have enough experience and your people are out there doing jobs in these different parts of town and you're collecting it on your phone, then you have the necessary ingredients to put them on those location service pages. So pages for each location, pages for each little sub offering you have inside plumbing or renovation or landscaping or chiropractic or whatever kind of service you offer, right? Those are location service pages.
Right.
Maybe like that gives you another like 30 or 40 pages, right?
That's it.
Now, if you already have that content and it's on your phone or your contractor friends and buddies have that and they put it all in a shared folder for a VA or you or your daughter to put it in, put it out there on the web, they can take that exact same content and post it to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these other places where you created content once, like we talked about yesterday in our keynote at the Digital Marketing Conference.
Yep.
And you can reuse it 10 different ways, right? So once that content showing proof that you do the things that you do in different parts of town, so you're not using stock art, you know why you don't use stock art.
Your stock art's really not recognized at Google. They kind of shy away from it, and they almost gets points against you versus helping you.
Because it's not showing that you're real. Everything we're doing is proving to Judge Google that we're real, that we do the thing that we say that we do. High pressure washing or whatever it is,
yep.
In whatever city, Baltimore, Maryland, right? If that proof of you doing the work is there, it can be repurposed to multiple areas, then we run $1 a day against it. And what's that? That's spending $7, which is $1 a day for a week, against one particular post and seeing, does it get at least 10% engagement? So I might have 5 or 6 posts on Facebook. You made a post on LinkedIn yesterday. It was a 5-minute post and you were showing a particular job that you were doing, right? And that was good, you posted it there, but that could be a YouTube, that could be a Facebook, that could be any Snapchat, TikTok, whatever the TikTok's going for longer videos too. It can be repurposed everywhere. And then we spend $7 targeting just that neighborhood. And the algorithm is able to figure out who would be most interested. So when you log into Facebook or Instagram or whatever and you're scrolling through it, the algorithm's super smart, figuring out who should see it based on who your friends are, based on what you like, right?
Absolutely.
So we don't even have to target. So when we run $1 a day ads, with the exception of LinkedIn and Twitter, which are dumb, all the other networks are very smart.
Yep.
Then the algorithm finds who is most likely to engage. So all the detailed targeting got taken away from us on Facebook 5 years ago. People have been complaining about it. Google's been taking away a lot of the controls that we've been used to, trying to force everyone to performance max and in the broad match, all this kind of stuff, right? Which are all these technical things that people love to argue about. But basically they're just taking away all the things we used to, like geeks like me, used to love playing with. Because like, don't touch, because you're gonna mess it up, right? Instead, put quality ingredients, your experience, showing that you're good at what you're doing, and you have tons of proof. Like Sam, you have that, your whole company, your 50 employees, you have tons of that. So by taking that and pushing it these other channels and running $1 a day against 30, 40, 50 posts all at once. You can post them all at once. You don't have to space them out or anything like that. Let's say we had 30 or 40 of these posts. We're probably going to get 3 or 4 winners. Winners meaning above 10% engagement and good comments and that kind of stuff. And then we put $2 a day, $3 a day, and we let them run forever. And those things are called our greatest hits. Right?
Got it.
Imagine you are our crappy guitarists and singers or whatever. We make a few songs, but then one song takes off. And we make all the royalties off of that one. We don't have to keep making a new song every single day.
Right.
That's where everyone else is failing in marketing, because they think they have to be an influencer and they have to go live twice a day and tweet 6 times a week and make LinkedIn posts of 489 characters with 3 hashtags. No, right? But to your question, that next level is getting more meat on the bone. Like having more content, showing you do what you do in the different areas, highlighting your staff, highlighting customers like you do. You happen to have celebrity customers and people like that. That's awesome. And then boosting it. Because the chicken and egg is most small businesses, they don't have any reach. So even if they make great content, it's never going to get seen. And unless you're like a celebrity or something like that, right? So the way you do it is you give the system what it wants, which is you put a quarter in the machine, or in this case, $1 in the machine, right? That's it.
So if I can get an actual example of this happening, recently, another company that we're working with is called Eternaturf, which is an artificial turf installation company. They just recently, as in the last week, opened up a new location in Toledo. And they have all these images of work they've just completed for a playground in a church. And so one of the first things we did was said, okay, upload this all to our GMBs, upload this all to our website, and then let's tie it in so we have the GMB linking to the website. But not only that, we know the neighborhood and we know the town where the work has been completed for the church. So what we can do is, like I said before, for $1 a day, we can actually amplify that to people that would be most likely to see that in their own neighborhood.
Got it.
So that's an example of using this and just broadcasting these trust signals that
Sure.
a company like his who does good work can have in the community. And then that's just very scalable. And right now, as of recording this, the average, what would you say the average interaction rate is for posts now? Facebook? 2-3%?
1%.
1%? We're getting over 20% on that one post.
And so that makes us look good.
Yeah.
It makes the business owner look good. It makes, Chris Cathy of Eternaturf think like we're amazing, but it's not that at all. All we did is we followed the recipe. Betty Crocker, make your first brownie recipe, right? If we follow the recipe, the algorithm, the AI tools do all the work for us. I think that's what people miss.
Yeah.
It's not magic. We literally are following a published checklist that any 18-year-old dropout could do.
That's beautiful.
Because the AI is doing the work.
Oh yeah.
We're just putting the right things into the machine.
So if you feed it the right things, you're going to get the results that you want.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Or you can spend a lot of time doing wrong and get nothing out of it. Very little.
Yeah. But whatever it is, even if you're small, you've got to take control of your marketing. I understand all the other marketing agencies and whatever will say, oh no, it's too complicated. You continue to do floors and we'll do our thing. That's a load of horse poo-poo, right? Because we need to understand that whatever we put out there is what we get more of.
That's right.
So if you show that you're doing lots of custom floors, then and you show in that city that you're doing that, was it Washington Township or whatever it is,
Yep.
then it's going to attract more people in Washington Township. Why? Because the algorithm, especially like TikTok, if you're driving around Washington Township, it recognizes the buildings and other things that are in the background, right? It recognizes faces, right? Facebook is starting to do that too. They bought a facial recognition company. All of that stuff there. I was at Jake Paul's house, and we did some filming, and then he went off to go and do some other thing for a little bit and take breaks between the filming. And I just made a video from inside his house. We posted that on TikTok, and it got millions of views because it recognized it was Jake Paul's house.
That's unbelievable.
So what we're saying
That's
is
great.
the AI is here. So you understand, like the algorithm. Like I'm not just saying TikTok, but it's like so smart. Facebook make recommendations on who your friend should be, or like it's.
Oh yeah.
So if we believe that Facebook and Google and TikTok, YouTube are really good at making recommendations on what we want to see, why not leverage that beast to do the work for us? So instead of like talking about, why you should have, artificial turf for your playground or whatever it is, or having ChatGPT write an article about the 10 reasons why artificial turf is better than whatever. But if you literally show your techs doing what they're doing, they're out on the job doing, and they're not professional videographer, $80,000 red camera, professional audio. Like they literally just looks like FaceTiming. Just like when you're driving, you're FaceTiming these contractors and like, hey, make the color like this. Like what we want to show Uncle Google, which is also put out there on the internet on Facebook and TikTok, YouTube. We just want to show us doing the thing that we do. So if you're a contractor, it's this simple. Literally show yourself doing the thing that you want to do in the city that you're doing it. Make sure as you're driving around, obviously, watch the road and that kind of thing. But if you're in front of like a landmark, like this is a key shopping mall or a park, or here's a Starbucks that I go to every morning, like show that, because do you believe, Sam, the algorithm can tell?
Absolutely, you can tell.
Then why aren't these young contractors taking advantage of that?
Yeah, I think that they're going into the job or going into the game of contracting itself, going, hey, I'm just going to start doing work because I know how to do the work, and everything else is going to happen. Not knowing that's probably it's important, But without the sales and marketing, the job never even gets to the point where it can be done.
Yeah.
So, and then, once you start to, get that extra dollars to do stuff, it's another thing I want to talk about is, if I'm a contractor, I'm just starting out, what would the first thing you would do as a contractor? If you had a certain amount of money per month, say it's $500,
Yeah.
what would you do? Let me just say, what wouldn't you do? And I already know your answer, but
There's so many wouldn't things to do. Like, but the biggest one is don't hire someone else.
Yeah.
Keep it in house.
Yep.
I don't trust. It's like talking to lawyers. How you go through line lips and moving whatever it's right. I coach thousands of marketing agencies. If you are under $50,000 a month, you need to own your marketing initially, because otherwise you can't supervise other people and tell whether they're doing a good job or not. So the number one thing I would do is I'd pay $10 a month for Google Photos, right? Because you have your iPhone or Android, and you pay $10 a month to Google Photos, and it's automatically uploading stuff into a shared folder. So if you destroy your phone, like, it's automatically been uploaded, so you're okay, right?
Yeah.
And now that it's up in there, Google's AI is able to do all kinds of amazing things for you. Because the main thing is, if you're a contractor, you want to be ranking on Google when someone has a broken toilet or whatever it is, and they need new roofing, like, you want to be there. So if you use Google and train Google on who you are, I believe, it's not just I believe, I know, Google is looking at your Chrome behavior. Google's looking at your photos. Google's looking at your Gmail. Do you think looking at that to determine what kind of ads and stuff to show, right? Just as proof of that, I'm going to go to my Google Photos, okay? I go to my Google Photos, right here, pay the $10 a month, or maybe it's like $14 a month, whatever it is. Name any city in the world.
Okay, so we'll go with London.
London. I went to the London School of Economics. Now I could tell you I went to the London School of Economics, but if I click on London, 631 photos, and you can see there's all kinds of stuff in London. I've been at these different museums. You can see I eat a lot of food. Oh, here's my buddy who has the world's tastiest coffee, provably, because he goes to all the auctions and buys literally the most expensive lot. It's $2,500 a pound for the coffee, and I've had it before. It's amazing. It's not like some Starbucks nonsense.
That's unbelievable. And it's actually pinned out, so you can actually see a
And
pinned
you can see
location,
where it is,
exactly where it is on that
what
map.
time. You can see that it's coffee. You can see, so all of this, and then it's tagged by who it is and where, like, all the AI is doing all this. You can see all these things here. You can see I eat a lot of food. You can see the restaurants that I'm eating it at as it changes on the map and who I'm with. You can click on the faces and it'll tell you who I'm with.
You're definitely a foodie.
I've got proof of right here. Now name, just to prove it, like, name an activity.
We're going to go with bowling.
Bowling. I suck at bowling, but one time I actually bowled at 200. I don't know how it happened, but bowling. All right. So here, I did some bowling, and it was with a friend of mine who was doing some bowling, and you could see, like, clearly there is bowling. If this Verizon will load properly, you can see this guy's bowling. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're inside the building. Building's kind of tough with the internet, but.
And now name an object.
Let's go with. I'm trying to think of an inanimate object. Let's go to car.
Car. We'll do car. Well, car can be super broad, but you can even specify the kind of car. But you can see, oops, that's a car. There's lots of cars here, right? You can see there's cars here. I could even say, like, Ford Mustang, red Ford. This is a red Rolls-Royce Phantom. This is a $450,000 car in Dubai, and you can see the information on it. Like, it's me and Dan Henry, and then I click on the triple dots.
Beautiful
It's
color.
showing me and Dan Henry, because it's the AI is recognizing who it is, where it is, what's going on. Here it is. We're at the Maidan Bridge, which is an iconic place in Dubai to take all of the influencers are there at the sunset taking pictures. And you can see all the information associated with that. So, Sam, do you think when I'm taking this photo of this car, or this video of this car, that I'm tagging who it is and where it is, and it's a red Rolls Royce or any of that?
There's no way you have time to do that.
Okay, so then why do you think I'm recommending that first step is to invest the $10 a month in Google Photos?
This way, Google's going to know exactly where you're at, what you're doing, in what area, and then be able to put that out to the people through the algorithms. So what content you're taking pictures of is what you do, and people will start to search that. That's what they're going to see.
Now I'm showing proof that I do what I do. So if I'm an electrical contractor, and I've been taking pictures on my phone as I'm doing the work, just little 15-second vertical videos, things like that, of different homes, and here's an outlet. And I don't know anything about electricity here, okay? But just imagine like I'm taking lots of pictures and videos, and I have my team do that, and we're putting it all into this central shared thing. Now I've got all the raw ingredients that allow a VA or some internal person that you hire to be able to do all these things that we're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
That's the starting point. If you don't have that starting point, anything else you do, even if you hire the most expensive, amazing SEO person in the world, it doesn't matter. Because what we're trying to do is feed that actual signal of competency that you do the thing that you say that you do. Not that you're talking about it, that ChatGPT is generating random nonsense about whatever.
Right. Absolutely. I think another point I want to make is on Facebook, you go to some people's Facebook and they're smoking weed, or they're giving you the finger, or they're doing everything other than telling you what you do as a business.
It's not a good look for many reasons.
So I think one thing I want to make sure I let all the contractors know, delete all those pictures. Delete them. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Put on pictures you want, like a potential customer that goes on your page. They should see something that you do, maybe something what you do with your family, stuff like that. Not these things that, I wouldn't want to hire someone like that.
Assume everybody can see that stuff.
Exactly.
Assume your grandma's going to see that stuff, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And then I guess this question's for Parker. Parker, you came on this trip. I appreciate everything that you do for us already, you and Dennis. What do you actually like doing? Like, what's your passion? Tell me about your passion.
That's a good question. I feel like I'm still figuring that out. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
nothing wrong with that.
I think in the last few months working with Dennis and our team has been fantastic.
Yep.
I think I'm traveling, meeting awesome people like you, like a few other people that we've met in the last few months has been a fantastic experience. Learning more operationally into businesses, how large businesses run, the employee aspect of these. I think it's super interesting.
Yep.
I think it's actually really enjoyable.
That's
just to
great.
learn.
That's great. So now, of the things that you do, what's probably the most, not the most, what's the thing that you like doing the least amount in the business that you're in right now, and what would be the most, the thing you like doing the most?
The thing I like doing the least amount is the exact reason why the dentist wanted me to hire more operational VAs. Is because managing everything at that level, managing VAs that fail to repurpose content appropriately, managing VAs that fail to submit their end-of-day reports, it's exhausting, man. I want to run LSAs. I want to do some higher level stuff to grow businesses. I don't want to be in the weeds, checking out LSPs and changing individual things. Like, it's a waste of our time.
Absolutely.
And also, it's unfair to the clients because then I can't focus on more high leverage things for them.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that's the answer to your question. Just
So-
operational things. I like.
So even Parker, so in your business, obviously, your important things. You said, hey, higher level. That's any business, right? So anything that you feel that you could buy back your time, those lower paying items that need to be done in a business. Once you start building up, that's when you go, hey, look, I don't like doing this, and it's easy to do. Let me farm that out, right? Let's farm that out. Whether it be a VA or whether it be in construction, it might be a laborer, right? And then eventually you'll get a laborer that has experience or has the drive that wants to be a field tech or a full blown technician that could be an installer or an operations manager. So whatever level you're at, you'll be able to level them up, which is going to level you up to be able to do more with less time.
And I think we're talking about VAs in the sense of running digital marketing agencies, but for local service businesses, Dennis, what do you think the main purpose of VAs should be, at least from the start? Where do you think VAs could be most helpful?
Look, every business is us three 90% of it is just dirty work, just like mundane stuff that is not sexy, that someone has to do it, and often like you or I or Parker will just have to step in and do stuff which we shouldn't have to. But that's what business is all about. All of us here, we're all service providers. It's all based on relationships and reputation. And so it doesn't matter whether you are a plumber or you do website building stuff like we do, you can always break the most complex task down into individual little components, and that's how you Dan Martell buy back your time. You have to break things down into SOPs. Just like the SOP that you showed me yesterday from your buddy who's like 2 or 3 times faster at installing than these other guys because he has an SOP that he follows. Everyone wants a secret. There's no secret. It's SOPs that are reliably done by people who do the work and don't cut corners and try to take shortcuts. My entire career has been built on literally following checklists. Even though I'm a pro, I still follow the same checklist. I'm getting on a flight in 2 hours, and I guarantee you that pilot is following that pre-flight checklist. Even though I'm sure he's got 20 years of flying experience, I bet you he is going through that. He's not, oh, I know flying so well, I don't need to use the checklist. I would never get on that plane.
No, absolutely not.
That's literally what our business is, and we publish our checklist for everyone to see. If you're watching or listening to this, you can have all of our checklists. We're not even going to try to sell you. You can just download them. You don't have to tell us your email address or anything. You can just have them. That's how
right.
strongly I feel about accountability and transparency and auditability, that whole thing.
Absolutely. And then I guess the last thing we'll kind of end it up with, because I know you're going to get out of here soon. If there's three things, and I always say three. So when you're doing business, whether it be marketing or construction, three things I say we do. Like in this case, my VA, the three things we're going to do. There's a million things I want them to do. Mm-hmm. But if you pick three things that are most important out of the 100, right? My most important things right now are email. I'm trying to get them to go through the email and spend time, because what Dennis said the other day is, hey, people are sending you email, it's taking your time up. That time can be used somewhere else, spent way better than reading someone's email. And then putting them in the folders, and then eventually answering those. That's huge to me. So I can't imagine the amount of time that actually you would be able to save if you had that, or Parker, if you had that, you'd be able to save. What other things do you think in business, whether it be marketing or even construction, someone can do that they'll be able to save more time? SOP's one, definitely.
Yeah. I'll say this one thing generically, and I'll extrapolate, is being able to watch a video,
Yep.
like a conversation like we've had, and then turn that to an article. Now, there's Descript and ChatGPT and all these other tools, but for someone to be able to sit down, I don't care if they're in the Philippines or Philadelphia, if they can watch that and actually understand the key points in that video, then they can repurpose, meaning they can turn it into a blog post or a Google Business Profile post or a tweet or a LinkedIn or an article or any sort of derivative content. That's the number one thing I want to be able to see. It's such a fundamental tool, skill. If they can just do that, then all of the various AI tools allow this 10x multiplication of efficiency. But if you don't have the ability to have active listening and empathy and understand the subject matter, no amount of AI can make up for that gap. So that's the main thing I want to see. I mean, you can go to 2, 3, and 4, but if you can do number one, I'm happy at that point.
Definitely. How about you, Parker? What do you got?
I think that one of the things that any kind of high leverage thing like home service or agency can do is get better at disqualifying that.
Got it.
I think bad clients, bad people that you want to work
I'm the worst at that, by the way. You heard me earlier. Debbie, I said, I don't even want it, but I'll keep going. And you're right. You're absolutely right.
But this is such a trap that new agency owners and businesses fall into. Because they think, all right, well, I want to just get as much money as possible or work with people that aren't a good fit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do this service even though it's not the service I want to do. I'll do it anyways because it's money. But the problem is just the amount of time and mental bandwidth that takes up is just never enough.
That's a phenomenal point.
Unless they pay you more they want.
Yeah, this is true too. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody coming on, and definitely want a high five and thank you for coming down. Appreciate it, and have a great day.